A function is a relation where each input or x value corresponds to exactly one output or y value. In other words, a function is a correspondence between a set of inputs called the domain and a set of outputs called the range, in which each input is paired with exactly one output. In this video, we're going to focus our attention on the domain and range of a function. The domain of a function is the set of all the possible inputs or x values, and the range of a function is the set of all possible outputs or y values. We are given three separate functions, and for each function, we need to state the domain and range. In part A, we have a function that connects some states with the number of US representatives for that particular state. So the graph tells us that Alabama is paired with 7, Indiana is paired with 9, Colorado is paired with 7, Arizona is paired with 8, and Missouri is paired with 9. The domain is going to be the set of all possible inputs. Since the states themselves are the inputs in this example, the domain will then be the set of Alabama, Indiana, Colorado, Arizona, and Missouri. It is important to recognize and point out that the definition of the domain is that it is the set of all possible inputs, and so when I write down the domain, I do need to write it as a set. The range for this particular function is the set of all the possible outputs, the set of all the numbers used by this function. In this particular case, the three values used were 7, 8, and 9, so this tells us that the range is the set 7, 8, and 9. Again, I want to emphasize, when I state the range, I will put 7, 8, and 9 in set braces. In part B, we have a function given as a table. The left-hand column is the button, and the right-hand column is the soda. Based on the table, we are told the button A1 is paired with RC Cola, the button B1 is paired with Jones Cola, button C1 is paired with Coca-Cola, and button D1 is paired with RC Cola. Because it goes from button to soda, I know that the buttons are the inputs and the sodas are the outputs. So when I need to state the domain will be the set of all the buttons used by this vending machine. So the domain is the set A1, B1, C1, and D1. The range, on the other hand, is the type of soda that you can get out of this vending machine. In this case, the range will be the set RC Cola, Jones Cola, and Coca-Cola. Even though two separate buttons give us RC Cola, we only need to list RC Cola once in the range. Because we're only listing the possible outputs, we don't need to account for how many times they're used as an output. And in part C of this example, we are now given a function as a set of ordered pairs. We have the set of ordered pairs A1, Snickers, B1, Milky Way, C1, Almond Joy, and D1, Milky Way. The domain is a set of all inputs or x values. So for this example, the domain is the set of buttons again, A1, B1, C1, and D1. The range, on the other hand, is the set of all the candy we can get from this vending machine. So the range will be the set Snickers, Milky Way, Almond Joy. Again, we don't need to list Milky Way twice, even though it does come from two separate buttons. All we need to account for is the fact that we can get Milky Way out of this vending machine.